Climbing in Heels is the debut novel of secretary-turned-agent-to-the-stars-turned-producer Elaine Goldsmith-Thomas. Inspired by her days as a Hollywood agent, the book follows 3 women working their way up the ranks and breaking into the boys' club of the 1980s Hollywood. Here to tell us all about it, please welcome Elaine Goldsmith-Thomas. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, I love a debut novel, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And this book is already being called out as one of the hottest beach reads of the summer. Is it true that your producing partner, Jennifer Lopez, you may have heard of her, encouraged you to write it?
Not only did she encourage me, she was the wind underneath my wings. I've been a writer for my entire career, even when I was an agent, and I always sort of was on the DL about it because I didn't think people would necessarily embrace the fact that I could do more than one thing. And isn't that a shame that we do that to women? I mean, actually, to Jennifer, if you think about it, she gets marginalized. You know, she's had, I don't know, 80 billion streams, but she gets marginalized. Oh, she was a dancer who became an actor, who became a singer, so she never really got the credit for anything. In fact, they were reductive about it because, you know, you can't do all 3 things, therefore you must not be able to do any of them very well. Well, no offense, but wait till you guys see Kiss of the Spider Woman this fall.
You won't be
saying that. But I think the lesson here is, you know, it's not that we only live once, Sarah. It's that we only die once. We live every day. So why not, right? So why not explore the many versions of yourself and amplify them? And that's what Jennifer, if anybody wanted to know who she was, she is a girl's girl to the nth degree. She called me before I was doing this. She was like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Go slay it. So.
Well, and the title of the book, Climbing in Heels, mirrors your own climb up the Hollywood ladder. How autobiographical is this?
I mean, ish. You know, it's 3 women, one whose wiggle was more waddle, but 3 women from very different backgrounds, and they sort of meet in the 1980s at this fictional agency called the Sylvan Light Agency, and you know, none of them were the cheese in the mousetrap that they wanted to run, so they had to become a different version of cheese. They, you know, they were Limburger when they wanted cheddar. They had to figure out a way in. And so they put on their heels, metaphorically, and they navigated and strategized and sometimes climbed on each other's shoulders and sometimes pushed each other away. You know, it's a story about friendship and survival, but a little bit about betrayal. And understanding that you can't judge them for the terrain they had to cross.
Now, you alluded to the fact that there's a character in here that might seem like you, but which one did you identify with most and why?
Well,
it can't be the waddle.
Listen, it was the waddle. I was chubby, and I was loud, and I was smart, and I was ambitious, and I was not what they wanted in a secretary. In those days, they called them sexy-taries. And I maybe reminded them of I don't know, the girls at the sisterhood, the girls at the temple, their wives, their sisters, not the girls they wanted answering their phones. And back in the day, when you got hired, I started at the William Morris Agency, and if you were a secretary, you had to say that was all you wanted to do. You couldn't go in the mailroom. The mailroom was the MALE room. And it was where the boys went to get trained to be the agents. So I had to figure out a way. And I stood on the shoulders of women who had figured it out before me. And this book is an homage to them. It's a combination of people. I'm a little bit beanie.
Now, the women in this book deal with sexism within a male-dominated Hollywood talent agency, as you just revealed. But what was it like for you to write about the darker side of Hollywood? And do you think now, in the post-Me Too era, that women are more respected in the industry?
Only when I look back did I realize how treacherous the climb was. You just deal with it. You look at what's in front of you, whatever obstacles, which I think is a lesson for today, and you figure out a way in. And you are tenacious, and you keep trying, and you try to love yourself along the way, which I think these characters hopefully learn to do. Do I think it's different now? It's funny, I just posted something on my Instagram that I saw. A woman was interviewing men about, do you think you got this job because of your looks? or what you wear. And gosh, do I think it's different? Yes, Me Too has certainly woken the world up. But I think it exists. I think it exists subliminally. I think when we call something a rom-com, in its own way, it's dismissive. I think that all we can do as women is stand together and support each other. And that's why I'm so touched by Jennifer and the way she has supported me.
Well, I heard Darren Star, creator of shows like Sex and the City and Emily in Paris, is already working on a scripted series.
I gave the book to Darren before it was published, and and I said it's steamy. I was a little worried about the amount of sex in it.
You warned me of that when I sat down.
You need sunblock. It's a beach read. And I was nervous, and he read it, and he called me. He said, "I'm optioning it." I said, "Wait, no, what?" And then he gave it to Universal Studios, and they optioned it. And then they gave it to Peacock, and they said, "If you don't pitch it anywhere else, we'll go straight to series." So Darren and I are writing it as a series right now with these wonderfully iconoclastic women who are traversing Hollywood in the 80s.
Wait, can you, that's amazing. Huge congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, are there any details you can share? And is there any actors you're eyeing for certain parts?
Well, I don't know. Whoopi Goldberg just told me she's obsessed with the book.
She is.
So
she is.
I may have to I have to call Darren, and we have to figure out what role she can do in heels or flats or anything. Who wouldn't want Whoopi Goldberg?
I mean, who wouldn't want Whoopi?
We haven't done that yet. We've gotten a lot of incoming calls from actors who have read it, and it's exciting and interesting. Somebody said to me, "Why did you write this as a fictional novel?" I said, "Because it's fictional." And you get to turn left, and you get to, what we do in the book is we do flashbacks. So I get to go into the 60s and the 70s, in some cases the 50s, and see what formed and informed these characters.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Now, what message do you want readers to take away from this book?
I would say life is about the pivot. We all have terrain in front of us. We all have obstacles. And every day, you just have to figure out a way around or through or in. But, and if you can't, remember that when they say you're swimming in a riptide, the best thing to do is turn over on your back and float, because the universe will ultimately bring you where you need to be.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Elaine, for this very juicy, steamy book, but also I can't wait for the series. That's going to be amazing.
It's going to be fun on Peacock sometime next year, I guess.
Wow. So a big thank you to Elaine Goldsmith-Thomas. Climbing in Heels is available now. You can scan the QR code on the screen to buy it, and members of our audience are going home with a signed copy of the book. Have a great day.